What's up, y'all? It's your girl Zeze.
This is your brother, Afro Elite.
And we are back again with another For the Culture podcast event. Okay, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share the video. All that is appreciated. Now I think we have to talk about something that's very relevant right now.
Yes.
Okay, that's been relevant, honestly, for the last years, years. Celebrity worship, okay? I think it's definitely been heightened because of social media. That's why I said it's not a new thing, but it's for sure been heightened a lot because of social media, where we got celebrities now that we have access to a lot. Let me say, celebrities are a lot more accessible. Let me say that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before we didn't see people on lives cooking, and we didn't even have that opportunity. Now we can just scroll up and you might see your favorite artist cooking macaroni and cheese, or, you know, talking about what happened in their day, or exposing the label. Shout out to Money Long. Okay. So, you know, that we didn't have that before, you know, and I think with that, a positive note is that we get to see the real side of celebrity. So a lot of that celebrity worship, that fantasy we thought they were living, we thought they were so rich, we thought they were so perfect, they were so talented. We get to see kind of behind the scenes that it ain't really what it is. And that can kind of create a healthy disconnect, okay, from them. But on the other side of that, it can intensify that relationship. You know, it feels like, oh no, you know, she's making dinner. Oh, I know so much about her.
You
she has
feel
a dog.
a connection now that you didn't feel before.
Like, this your friend. Like, this is not because you have more information about them, you know, or they're more open about what's going on in their lives, you know, because they probably make more money off of it that way, you know, to a degree. You don't want to be too accessible. Shout out to Beyonce. But
you ain't never going to see her cooking macaroni. You ain't never going to see her cooking macaroni. You don't know what she do. She just come on stage. That's the only time you ever see her.
For real. So yeah, but again, it's created this celebrity worship thing. And on the flip side of that, we get to see a lot, because we get to see a lot more of them, we get to see a lot more of even their political views, a lot more of their social views, a lot more of, and this is kind of where things get complicated. Trump, we all know Trump just won. He had an inauguration, 16th last month. At this inauguration, he had a ball, I think like a crypto ball was for him, and then he had the inauguration actual thing. The crypto ball, Snoop Dogg performed, I think a couple other people performed. The inauguration, Nelly performed. Somebody else performed too. Who am I missing? Nelly and who else?
Nelly, Soulja Boy performed.
Soulja Boy.
Rick Ross was there too. Rick Ross performed.
Okay.
Some Underwood, something. What's her name?
Carrie Underwood.
Carrie Underwood. Yeah.
Okay, you know, we'll get that her. But of course, that's our people. I don't expect nothing less.
And I don't know how y'all was surprised by that.
Well,
a lot of y'all was surprised, like, what? Like, yeah.
What are you talking about?
Okay.
I just assume most country singers are suspected white supremacists. I'm just be real. Oh, the white ones at least. So anyway,
we weren't surprised.
We were not, to say the least. So yeah, but even with that, again, because of this celebrity worship, a lot of people, when I say, there were some people that was up here damn near in tears because they were so disappointed that Nelly performed for Trump and Snoop was there at the inauguration. You know, they were so disappointed by their affiliation with Trump, okay? And that's only because, again, that the connection that they have, that they think they have with these celebrities, you know? And, of course, not understanding, you know, thinking that Trump is the boogeyman and all this, you know, not understanding kind of the political circus that's going on behind them. But that attachment right there, you know, it kind of creates an unjust amount of backlash, because now you're getting Nelly. I'm not dragging Nelly for performing in no fucking inauguration. No, I don't think he should have did it. I'm not performing. I'm not tap dancing for no damn conservative right-wing crackers. I'm not doing it. However, if he support Trump, I'm not, like, I would have felt just as disappointed if he would have performed for Kamala. You see what I'm saying? Like, so if I'm not about to get up here and make a whole video about Quavo and Kelly Rowland and Beyonce speaking for Kamala, I'm not about to get up here and drag Nelly for performing it for Trump. It's the same thing.
And the thing is that you're saying it's the same thing because we understand that they're both two sides of one coin. Okay, you got the right wing, the left wing. Two wings. You need two wings to fly anything. All right, at least two wings to fly anything. So we understand it's the same bird. All right, they don't understand that. They're thinking like, okay, good guy, bad guy. We know bad guy, bad guy. Okay, this bad guy is more sneaky That's the Democrats most likely, the liberals most likely. Malcolm X talked about this. This one's just more honest, but that doesn't make him more of a bad guy than the sneaky bad guy.
Exactly.
You know? So when we see our celebrities doing things in favor of the sneaky bad guy, we're not going to give that a pass, or we're not going to hold them to a different standard than we do to the one that's the blunt or open bad guy. You know? And the fact that people are so upset about it shows that you have a very unrealistic and emotional connection to people who don't know you and you don't really know.
Exactly.
To be very honest, these are entertainers who you might see cooking macaroni, you might see exercising or whatever the case is. They might open the live and say something to you, but you don't really know these people.
Yeah.
You know, to be very honest, a lot of these people keep their character on all the time. You know, and the thing is that since you don't know them, you haven't been around them, they don't know you. You shouldn't have this attachment. Like, people are upset because they viewed Snoop, they viewed these people as like their actual family members, their uncle, their auntie.
Right.
You would feel disappointed if you saw your uncle or auntie at a KKK rally. You know what I'm saying? You would feel heartbroken. If you saw a random stranger at a KKK rally, you would be upset. It's a KKK rally,
right.
Of course. But you wouldn't feel disappointment. You wouldn't feel heartbroken if you saw someone you didn't know. But the fact that you're seeing someone you're attached to emotionally, that's the heartbreaking aspect to it. And the thing is that people are heartbroken over Snoop, but they don't know Snoop. And they shouldn't have such a strong emotional connection as if he's literally their uncle.
Well, the only thing I will say about Snoop in particular is that he did kind of fumble his words when he said he was trying to go on the people that was
I was disappointed in Snoop for doing that.
You know, I was like, bruh, you could have just kept your mouth closed.
And
then it would have been that.
To be honest, yeah. Because this is not Snoop's first time doing that. Snoop has been known to take like strong stances on something and then later on kind of walk that back, you know what I'm saying? Didn't like that.
Oh yeah, did he do that with old girl?
Yeah, he did that with Gail. He did that with Gail King or whatever the case is. After she slandered Kobe Bryant after he passed away, he did that, and he did it, and he was right, and everybody backed him. And then next thing you know, he was on the Jada Pinkett Smith show, the Red Table Talk, and he was sitting up there damn near crying and apologizing for it.
That.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm disappointed because he was calling a whole bunch of people who did the first time, Uncle Tom, Sambos, Jigaboos, all of that stuff. No apology. He never came out and said, you know what, I changed my mind. I take back what I said. Just next thing you know, you see him in the headline performing at this event, you know? So that shows kind of, to me, a lack of integrity. Now, even if you change your mind, which people are able to grow, people are able to change their opinions and their thoughts on certain things, you know, you should acknowledge the fact that, hey, this is not my original thought, and I know I put people on blast for doing what I'm about to do. So I come off like a hypocrite. And he didn't acknowledge that.
He didn't.
So it was a really bad look.
It really breaks down this illusion for celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Even the whole concept of black faces in high spaces. Okay? That even has kind of, that idea is kind of being broken down currently. Because we're seeing these artists, you got artists out here who are straight up telling you, like, I'm broke. You know what I'm saying? Like, this label, I owe this label, or I can't get out this contract deal, or look, I'm number one on the charts, but I can't afford my mortgage next month. You know what I'm saying? So we're starting to see the breakdown of that illusion. And even the amount of influence that they used to have isn't as effective as it used to be. You know, we've had some celebrities, especially within the political height of last year, we for sure had a lot of celebrities trying to get people supporting Kamala, trying to do certain, in work in favor, go against Trump and things of that nature. We can see now that didn't work too well because the nigga won. Okay, number one. But even besides that, we see whenever they try to do their little antics now, there's a lot more pushback than it was before because we're seeing them for who they are. So when we get a bunch of celebrities that pop up out of nowhere saying, well, I'm leaving Twitter because I forgot what was they leaving Twitter for?
They was leaving Twitter because they said Elon Musk, because he owns Twitter now, and they said just race. It was vague. They said the racism on Twitter was just too rampant for them to enjoy the app anymore.
I think they was trying to say it was like Trump propaganda.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Bullshit. Okay, so that was not reason enough for most of us. I ain't lost no followers because celebrities. I ain't hearing nobody say, "Hey, Z, hop on this," because all the celebrities are leaving. It's like that was like a little fraction of moment in time and in the past. Nobody is not getting off Twitter because of some celebrity said get off of there. You know what I'm saying? That's just not what's happening. The influence on the grassroots honestly has been heightened because of social media. It's like it kind of made a flip, like a reverse. Now you got celebrities trying to follow the trends or follow along or catch on to what the grassroots is doing first, so they can seem like they know what's going on, or they're connected to and they have real influence, you know. But they're really just following those
the talking points and everything like that.
But they're really just following those on a grassroots level. You know what I'm saying?
Really, yeah. They use a lot of the talking points, and it mimics the grassroots, so they can seem like, okay, well, I heard such and such. I heard Afro say that, and now I'm hearing you say that. So y'all kind of on the same page. Y'all on the same time. So they'll use some of the phrases. They'll use some of the talking points, but their overall agenda is different. That's the big thing. Their agenda, their motives are completely different. When they say, I want to leave Twitter. I want to leave X, I guess you call it, because of all of the racism going on that app. Yeah, there is, and there always has been.
Yeah.
It's not no new thing at all. It's always been that way. They've never said anything about it being that way. But you have to ask, okay, what is the motive? Because you might want to leave Twitter, and that's fine. You can do that if you want to. You make an announcement about it if you want to. It's kind of weird, but okay. But let's say you do. Where are you going now? See, that's where we get to the agenda part. You want to go to some place where you have more control over what gets said, over what goes viral, over who says what account stays up. They understand that Twitter, they don't have that access anymore. You have regular people who are not celebrities who have the same, if not more, reach and influence than celebrities. They need that hierarchy of these are the celebrities, these are the shills, their voices get out farther, they have the most reach, they have the most influence. With platforms such as Twitter, such as social media, you have people who are not celebrities, who wouldn't be recognized if they walked outside, who have as much influence online, or at least on that app or Instagram, who have that much influence, or a clip that can go viral, just like a famous celebrity who's been a celebrity for a decade. Okay? And that balances out the power dynamic that they have and the influence that they have. So that's the agenda of why they really wanted to switch, you know, so they can control the narrative better. Because as you're saying, they're losing it now.
When we're talking about DEI, this is a whole thing right now, okay? A lot of companies, Trump has just said basically get rid of DEI, so a lot of the companies is getting rid of DEI programs. A lot of people mad, upset. We know DEI ain't for us, okay? We know that mainly white women was benefiting from all DEI. So we know that we don't really give a damn about that, okay? Because ultimately, we were still being discriminated against. Anti-black racism was still being used against us, and we were still not getting what we deserved, period, under that program. And so that's why when I seen it, I wasn't up in an uproar about, oh wow, okay, you know, let's cancel, because this was not something that was really for us anyways. But these celebrities, they get up here and it's, oh, y'all, we need to cancel this, we need to boycott Target, we need to da-da-da-da. And again, where are they taking this energy to? Because y'all are saying boycott Target to go to Walmart. Okay, we boycott BJ's to go to Costco. Like, what are we talking about here? We're just switching sides, all right? Because neither one, we're not benefiting from either side. Wherever we go to, wherever you're trying to disperse us or trying to detour us to from that store, it's not black. It's not black owned. It's not black controlled. You know it's not. So it's like a farce that they're upholding, you know, this image that they're trying to uphold, that they're conscious, or they care about the people, they're politically aware, you know, and they know what's going on, and that's where they're morally against Trump and everything and it's like, that's not it. It's just playing off our emotions of that, but that's not their intention. Their intention is not to go against something to help our people, okay? Because what they're going against didn't help our people, period, you know?
That's true. Now, the thing is that white supremacy, this shout out to Neely Fuller again. You don't understand white supremacy, what it is and how it works, everything else is going to confuse you. White supremacy always takes both sides of the argument. Exactly. So you'll have DEI on one side, like the conservative, the far right, they'll be all like DEI, and they frame it as unfair handout or reverse racism that benefits black people. So they'd be all like, any black person in a good position, oh, that's a DEI hire. You didn't earn it, but you got this handout because you're black.
Right.
So they use it as that. And they also, that's one side. The other side is they know DEI helps white women, white LGBT,
right.
Asians, and all of that stuff. And it pushes us to the back of the line. But they market it as if this is really to counterbalance all of the black discrimination and all of the anti-blackness that still exists. So they're both taking both sides of the argument. What we know is the truth. We know for a fact that DEI, just like affirmative action, we know that these things were supposed to, or at least the original intent and concept was to counterbalance our anti-black discrimination.
Yeah.
But with terms like minority, other, people of color, all of this stuff, it allowed the range to be so broad that everybody and their mama gets to apply. And now white women and all that, they benefit the most from it. So we understand that. So if it's gone, we're not tripping on it.
Yep.
But you have these celebrities, you have the Al Sharptons out here who's crusading to boycott, saying we need DEI, as if DEI is a civil rights movement or something like that. He's literally trying to make himself be the next Dr. King out here, talking about a buy-in at Costco.
At a multi-million-dollar
which is not black owned.
That ain't black owned.
All right, that we don't benefit. That Costco doesn't donate nothing to the black community, doesn't do anything to the black community at all. He's fighting and he's using black people to be the face of a crusade for something that doesn't benefit black people.
Nope.
And my thing is, Target is not black owned. We don't. You want to boycott Target? You don't want to shop at Target? It's not black owned. Don't hurt us. You should shop at black owned businesses anyway. But the thing is that if you're going to boycott, just do it with the right intention. Do it with the right motives and agenda behind it. Don't do it on a crusade of something that was benefiting your oppressor class. Don't do it for that. You're doing it crusading for something that was pushing you to the back of the line, just like affirmative action. So if you're going to boycott, which really you should take that energy, your resources, your money, and put it in black-owned businesses. If you're going to say, I'm not shopping at Target for whatever reason, boo up the band, do it because it aligns with your values, not the values, beliefs, or the agenda of the dominant society.
Exactly. You know? And that's what I'm like, the upside to this is that the celebrities that we do see that peep this for what it is, they're getting unnecessary backlash as well. You know, like, because there are some of us, you know, even like ones like Waka Flocka, you know what I'm saying? Like certain people who understand our lineage, what we need, and what we gonna get the most benefits from. You know what I'm saying? And it's just kind of keeping that at the forefront of the mind. So you had some celebrities like Tabitha Brown, okay? Where she got up here and some of her products is sold, and a lot of her products is sold in Target. I think actually primarily all her products is sold in Target, if I'm not mistaken. And for some other black business people as well. And she got up here, she was one of the only people that said, like, look, you know, I understand y'all want to boycott, but you know, let's how about y'all boycott the store except and buy my shit? You know what I'm saying? How about we just boycott the non-black brands, okay? So we can at least get our shit out of the shelves. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to stop shopping after we sell all our stuff, that's one thing, but we're going to take a loss if y'all just don't go in there and buy
it would be
shit.
A financial loss.
It would be a huge loss, absolutely, because they got to get that shit off themselves. You know what I'm saying? They have to, even if they would have just go in and remove it, they can't just go in and remove it. That's a whole process, and there's money involved in that they have to pay to Target in order to do that, because there's a contract that's already in hand. And so she did get dragged through the mud for that. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the people was like, "Oh, Tabitha Brown, she, you know, shucking and driving because for Target, she don't want to lose no money." But I low-key understand what she's saying, you know, because there is a way to boycott. You know, there is a way to go about supporting our own, even when they're involved with the other side. Let me say that, you know, because a lot of people are still going to go to Target. A lot of people still going to go to Walmart. A lot of people is not going to give a damn about none of these DI. The people that actually do care about it, okay, maybe you care, but maybe you should support your the black businesses that are in there, because they are going to come to a detriment. And on the opposite side, I mean, I guess I understand the argument of not doing that as well, because I'm not for integration. That's why I'm not going to support it. I'm not about to go in there and buy Tabitha Brown shit. I'm going to be real. I'm just be real. I can't go in there and support that shit because I don't think you should have been in there in the first place. I'm not for us being in those corporations. But am I against black people who do support her because she's already in there? No. If I'm in fucking Target, if I just happen to go on Target because I need something and I'm like, oh, they go Tabitha, I will pick up her shit first. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to Target just to buy her stuff because niggas is boycotting and this, because I'm not for integration at all in any way, shape, or form. So I'm not going to do that. But again, for the masses, like, yeah, for generally speaking, most people who are just not, who's maybe has that on their mind, but they know realistically, look, I still got shit I need to get out of Target. There's still certain deals in Walmart I need to, whatever the case may be. You want to do that, that's fine. But support the black people that's at least in there, you know, because ultimately, at least they're still benefiting to a degree, even though the white supremacists are benefiting a lot more.
People were getting on her like, oh, just sell your stuff online, And it's a lot of black people who sell their stuff online. There's a reason, though, that people want their stuff on shelves. Because most people, when they buy things online, when they look to get something online, they're looking for a very specific thing. They're not browsing online to just see what they can buy. When you're at a store, there's a lot of people who browse around and be like, oh, by the way, I could use this. I could get this too. Yeah. You know, it's a lot of benefits still to having your stuff on shelves at retail stores. When that big corporations, billions of dollars like Target and Walmart and everything like that people go to, millions of people go to on a daily basis, there is benefit to that, which is why we need our own version of Walmart or our own version of Target and everything like that. We need to cut out the middleman of that instead of saying, okay, can I sell my stuff here? I get some of the money, but you get some of the money. If there's going to be a middleman, let's have the middleman be black. That's the way we should be thinking about it. Let's have this black Walmart or a black Target or whatever the case is. So that way, if you do sign a contract with a business or a brand or whatever the case is, everybody getting paid as black. You know what I'm saying? So that's the ultimate goal. But I understand where she was coming from, because she's looking at it like, a lot of these black businesses, they work hard to get their stuff out there to the public. Yeah. A lot of times you wouldn't even know that this was a black brand, a black coffee brand or whatever the case is, because you're not online looking for that stuff. So these black people who've worked hard to get the contract and their stuff is out, is going to be a financial loss. What you think you're doing to help the community is actually going to hurt the community. It's not going to help boycotting Target. Now, she has her brand there. So it's money lost to her on her end. So we're going to have to acknowledge the fact that, yeah, you're probably coming off as biased right now because you don't want to lose money. It would be noble if you didn't have anything at Target, you didn't have a dog in a fight, you know, but you were still all like, hey, that's not right for all of the other black-owned businesses. But, you know, you're saying it as if, hey, let's do the more morally correct thing, but that's because of your bottom line. Right. You know what I'm saying? Which is why a lot of people really didn't take her message serious. But I hope her business still succeeds, whether it's at Target or not. But that goes into the fact that when it comes to integration, you wouldn't even want your business to be at a place that could be boycotted because of anti-black racism, even though DEI isn't anti-black racism. Right. But just the image of that, you wouldn't even want to risk your business being there. I understand the value of having it on a retail shelf, but if there's value of having it on a retail shelf, you can come together and you be all like, well, we need our own retail shelves. That's what we need, instead of working to get our stuff on their retail shelves so they can sell it at their prices and I can get a percentage of my money. Exactly. You know, or you sign a contract for this amount of items or whatever the case is. So we need to be thinking about it in that way. But as far as what she can say, as far as what she said, I get it to a degree. I get her being all like, hey, there's a smarter way to do this so a whole bunch of black people don't miss out on money. But you lose points to me because I know you have something personal to lose. If we go into the DEI, just like affirmative action, we have to understand that really when we're included in anything, it doesn't really work out the best for us. It works out best for us when we control and we operate. And when every single person who's involved is black. So everybody's benefited. The worker there is black. The one who's running the cashier, the owner of the store, okay, the brands that are sold in the store, so that you getting paid, your employees getting paid, the store's getting paid, the brand's getting paid, the person's enjoying the product. That is the ultimate goal. Now, I understand when we had our black neighborhoods burned down and we had to we didn't have to integrate, but I understand that we've had our stuff taken away from us to a large degree. But that doesn't mean it needs to stay that way. It shouldn't stay that way.
Yeah.
We need to find a way for it to go back. And it's going to be sacrifices. And what's interesting about this situation is that people are saying that they're willing to sacrifice. People are saying, I'm not going to Target anymore. I used to love Target. I'm not going to Target. So if you're willing to sacrifice, sacrifice with an agenda of being black first. Sacrifice and be all like, you know what? I'm not going to Target or Walmart or anything that's not black owned. All right. Or I'm going to minimize that to the best degree I can. All right. I'm going to try to replace everything that is not black owned, that is a necessity, such as toilet paper, napkins, batteries, washing detergent, soap, all of these things. You can replace that with black owned soap. With black owned batteries, with black owned toilet paper, with black owned stuff like that. And it's going to be a sacrifice because you're probably going to have to get it online. You probably are going to have to get it in bulk. If you're going to make a sacrifice, make that sacrifice.
Exactly.
Make the sacrifice for the betterment of the community, not the betterment of the agenda that's been pushed through from a shield by the dominant society.
Yeah, I definitely think we have to use our resources a lot more clever. You know what I'm saying? Even little things like TikTok Shop. There's a lot of black businesses that came up off just TikTok Shop alone.
Yeah.
Like, for real. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot, you know? And so we should take advantage of stuff like that, but we do have to keep moving forward. I think a lot of us just get stuck in, especially when we become successful, we get stuck in, oh, well, this is enough because I've gotten this far. You know what I'm saying? Like, this TikTok Shop is enough, or being in Target is enough, you know, when it's like, no, how about you go to Target, but you stay there, maybe do a contract for 5 years and then get the hell up out of it and get into your own warehouse. You know what I'm saying? Or get into another black grocery store or whatever the case may be. You find different connections to create more grocery stores, other businesses, whatever the case may be. But there should be an end goal that you're coming out, you know? And too many of us get stuck in the temporary phase of just, you know, being a successful slave. We're just being honest, you know?
Yeah.
Because you still honor somebody, you know? If you don't have true freedom, even if you have all the wealth in the world, if you are still controlled, you're not free, you know? So,
you know, it goes to a thing of like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if you're not uncomfortable, you don't want to change the situation. You should always be thinking about just nation building.
Yeah,
all
you
right?
need to be uncomfortable. We need to get uncomfortable. That's
yeah. You need to do that. So, like for instance, oh well, if my stuff is I'm making money at Target, ain't no need to leave Target when my contract's up. I'm gonna sign another contract.
Yeah,
sign another contract instead of looking at it like, you know what. Now that I'm in here, I'm going to associate myself with all of the other black brands here. We can all, when our contract's up, pull all our stuff out, and we can make our own retail store or something like that.
Exactly.
Or I'm doing this just to get the brand name out there so I can have name recognition. But this is not the ultimate goal. Too many people get complacent when they get comfortable.
Yep.
You know, and they lose sight of nation building. You should always be thinking about, okay, is this participating or is this helping? Does this align with the best for nation building?
I think that was a great pace of land. This was another great episode of For the Culture Podcast. Bless it. Make sure y'all follow me on the gram. Please follow me. Zeze Rants, A to Z TV on everything. TikTok, Instagram, X, etc.
Subscribe to your brother Afro Elite on YouTube. All right. Also, X, Twitter, the Afro Elite. Afro Elite on Instagram, Afro Elite on TikTok. Very important that you subscribe to this channel right here, For the Culture on YouTube, all right? Hit your notifications, leave a comment, let us know what you think, all right? Hit that notification bell, share this, make sure everybody gets to understand we're dropping powerful game here, and we appreciate every single last one of you, brothers and sisters, for listening. Thank you so very much.
Peace. Be one.